I'm gonna go right here for the point. That's where you make your money right here. Let's see, after that long rest, it's still juicy. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that juice, boy. All right, welcome back for another one. Today I'm gonna be cooking up a brisket on the smoker, the one I built. I can't believe I've done like freaking 10 cooks on it. I haven't done a brisket yet, but they're kind of expensive right now. Everybody knows that. So I found this one up at Costco. I think it was $4.99 a pound. Kind of hard to beat that for a prime cut one. They had flats up there that were $8 a pound that were choice, so that's not good. I'm not getting one of those. But anyway, real quick overview of this one here. I always try to pick one out that looks pretty universal going across. When I get it, I don't want to have one that's got a giant piece of fat here, what they call the dunkel or some shit. It's big old hunk here, and it goes down real thin and smooth at the bottom. You're back. Well, I'm trying to shoot this on a Friday afternoon, and everyone's coming home from school and out from walks and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to do it in time lapse. I can show you how I like to. I've been working on this. I haven't done one in a while, but I've been working on this. Every time I do a brisket trim now, I work really hard on trying to get it really uniform going across and just get the most out of it each time. And then I take what I cut off, if it's worth saving, and I put it in a baggie and I put it in the freezer, and I got a meat grinder. One of these days I'll make up some burgers. Maybe I will tomorrow. Maybe I'll get it out, but if I cut too much off of this or a lot off of this, I'll bust out the grinder and make some burgers or something, like smoke them and then sear them off in a pan in here or something like that. Be kind of cool. But first brisket I've done on here, I'm gonna cook it the same style. If you haven't watched it, there's a video I did a while back, and I called it the best brisket method ever in the whole entire world, something like that. I forget what I called it, but it was really good. I've done a lot of briskets in that style. I have a certain way of wrapping it. I have a lot of things I add to it as I wrap it too, and it really, really made a huge difference. It was one of the best briskets I've ever made on that Masterbuilt 800. But it's freaking freezing out today. It's been like crazy cold the last 2 days, so I'm gonna try to get, I think tomorrow I can get my big smoker out and make something happen on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing trimmed up, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. All right, got it all trimmed up, looking pretty aerodynamic, got a good shape to the end there. I'll most likely be putting fat cap side to the smoker. I might rotate at some point. If I do, see I got a pretty good, decent thickness on this one. But if I do anything, I might foil boat that outside corner where it gets a little bit thinner, just to make sure I get good even cooking. Do a little bit of olive oil spray. This is the rub I make. It's got a bunch of good stuff in it. If you're ever interested in that, I could show you. I could probably do a video one day just mixing it up, give you all the exact measurements on it. But it's really good. It's got some spice to it, got some salt, got some pepper. You know me, I like to shake it up as I go just to make sure you get enough pepper, because that pepper and all this, some stuff will settle on you. There you go. I like to give it one more spray on top, just kind of wet it up, and you can kind of pat it in. And I'm going to do a light coat of just my SPG, because it's got a lot thicker pepper in it. This is the first time I've ever done stacking of the rubs like this on here, so that'll be nice. That'll be cool to see how it turns out. Here we go. Like I said, I like to pat mine in, not necessarily rub it in. There you go. Go ahead and flip it. Not too bad. Quick spray, and I'll get the edges too, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this side up, let it sit in the fridge all night, and then get up early tomorrow morning and get my big smoker all cranked up. Hopefully run around that 275 mark the whole time and knock this thing out in about 6 hours. Real quick, that is some of the best marbling that I've seen in a brisket that came from Costco. That's pretty cool. So this thing will cook for probably on smoke for 6 hours tomorrow, wrapped up for maybe 7 hours, then wrapped up for another 5 or 6. And then I will be doing an overnight rest. So I'm going for that 10 to 12 hour rest mark so I can really nail this thing. I want to have the most tender brisket I've ever made on my first one that I get out of that smoker that I built. So that's how this cook's gonna go down. So it's gonna be over like a 3-day process essentially. So that's pretty cool. All right, here we are. It's about noon today, Saturday, and I'm trying to get this thing started up, get the big smoker started up. You can see I got everything opened up, cleaned up, got my water pans filled up, And it's so nice today that you can be out here in a freaking tank top and pants if you wanted to be. It's pretty nice. Got the chimenea going and got my chainsaw out, and I'm going to take that chainsaw right there and I'm going to chop up my logs into the 12-inch pieces. Those seem to really burn well last time I cooked, but last time I cooked it was like 20 degrees colder than it is right now. So I'm hoping that I can keep this fire rocking really steady today by cutting those logs right there down into 12-inch pieces. My firebox is like just long enough to put those long ones in. Like I mentioned before, even with a chimney or chimenea full of charcoal and that bed being started with that, what it does is it ends up like burning the middle part and the ends don't get burnt. So then what I have to do is come back in with my poker, break it all up, stir it up, and get it going again. So with these, I can just keep stacks going and get those logs burning nice and clean the whole time. So I'm gonna get some wood chopped up, get this fire started, and we're gonna get cooking. All right, got my wood chunked up now. These pieces like this just stack really good in my firebox. It's about like 10, 12 inches long, and whole stack there. These are my favorite pieces that have the big old knots on them. Pieces like that are great. So I'll get all that stuff. What I have to do too is get in my firebox here, I like to take a log, put a log here, put another one, oops, sorry, another one there, put my charcoal right in the middle, and then stack my wood on top of those pieces going sideways. So that's the best way I found to keep that fire rocking really, really steady in here. And it makes stirring it up and it makes stacking the next fire really, really easy too. So chimenea is getting close. See the red coals on top, and it's getting ready to get dumped in there. Quick shout out. I found there's a guy on Instagram in Aurora, Colorado, and it's called Plates by the Pound Barbecue. Dude like sells out every day. He's making his own way. He kind of started in his backyard like most of us are, just doing stuff for family and friends, I believe, and then he just kind of kept going. Now he's got his own spot. It's carry out only, and they sell out every day. So he had this hat on to support your local pit master. Hit him up one day and asked him where he got it, and he sent me to a guy named Robert Sierra on Instagram, who is a big barbecue connoisseur himself. So sent him an inbox message, and he had a bunch of different ones to choose from, and anyway, ordered it, had it 4 days later sitting here. So I really like the hat. Just a quick shout out to those guys. So if you want to get you one, that's where you get it from. So just go to Instagram, send Robert Sierra inbox message. He'll send you what he's got, and then you'll be able to get it ordered up. So hit him up. So as usual, I'm using pecan and cherry wood. Those are my two favorites. I've tried a lot of things, and I ended up ordering a whole cord of half cherry, half pecan. And you can see it's dried out pretty good. It's already catching fire in the box there. So what I like to do is keep the door open until those logs really get going, and then keep the big door open also up top there. Let all that dirty smoke get the hell out of there, and don't close it in there. That's just a smelly stink that you don't want from the smoke. You want to get that clean smoke in there. So let these logs catch fire really good, and then close it up, and then I'll kind of start dampering the air and see kind of where we're at. But big stack up there up top, I always run it wide open. There, that one right there. Leave it wide open, and then damper it right here on the front, and call it good. But I mean, that's only been on there maybe a minute now. I'm 50 seconds in on this video here, so it's already rocking really clean, really dry wood. I'm gonna let it go, and then let it get even all that shit burned off, and then we're gonna close it up and get cooking. All right, it's been about 20 minutes or so, and it always looks dirtier on camera. I'm looking at it right there, but it's not too bad. Things are rocking pretty clean, right at 275 already. Taking 20 minutes, it just kind of stabilized off there too. So anyway, I want to show this off real quick. That's one of the best trim jobs I've ever done. I'm kind of proud of it. So if you need any tips on trimming, it's really, really simple. It really starts with the choice brisket that you pick out at the store. You can see it's pretty flat, has that little bump right there on the point, but nothing crazy. Some of the ones I saw were really skinny and had a tall hump right here, and you're gonna have a hard time cooking that really, really evenly. People say their flats turn out, dry or whatever, but really what it comes down to is getting good smoke on it at a steady temperature for a long time, maybe 6-7 hours, and then wrapping it and then letting it rest. The rest is the most important part. That's why today on this video, I'm gonna be doing overnight rest in the oven. My oven warm setting, I think, is 170. So I'm gonna get this thing put on. We're right at that 275, 300 mark in that middle there. Getting this put on, and we're gonna try to cook at 275, 250 the whole entire time. And then probably 6-7 hours, get a good crust on it, probably do some spraying. May have to wrap this end down here, this end right here, because it is a little bit thinner right there. I'll just do a little foil wrap on the end of it like I've seen Terry Blacks do, and then let it go. And then once I wrap it up, I think I'm gonna do like I always do. I'm gonna put it in a deep foil pan with foil on top. I'm gonna put a little bit of, I'm gonna put chunks of beef tallow in it, and I'm gonna put chunks of butter in it too. That last one I made on the Masterbuilt turned out great. I can't believe this is the first time I've cooked a brisket on my new smoker. It's been crazy. So lots of pork shoulder, ribs, and wings and shit. So I'm really excited about doing this cook. So I'm gonna get it put on and let it go. Let this thing recover, get back up to 275, and we're gonna let it go, baby. I'm not gonna look at it for like 3 hours. Rocking steady 275 today. Did a little experiment over here, and I put the water pans directly underneath the thermometer on this side. You can see it's actually keeping the temperature 15, 20 degrees different on either side, but that's a pretty awesome deal to think about, considering the firebox is just right there. Got this fire cooking, rocking really clean today. Did some cutting up with my chainsaw. Got these logs set perfect in there. It's a hell of a coal bed right there. All right, we're about the 2 hour mark. This is gonna be first peek at it. Ooh, baby, that's some good color right there, babe. I like that. Getting a little crisp there. So what I'll do is just give it a little spray. Nothing special, just water here. Ooh, I sprayed too hard. Gotta put that shit on mist. Took a little bit of the bark right off that corner. Whoop, shit. But color's awesome. Even that point right there is looking pretty good. It's not getting too much yet. A little spray, dude. Yeah, cool that off. How pretty is that? Let it go for about 2 more and come back and peek at it. I'm liking how it's looking so far. I might wrap this corner here in about an hour, and then we'll leave this part alone. It's looking real good. Until that fat's already getting a little bit glistening right there. So that's what you want to see right there. So a little experiment today was trying to cook at 250. Actually trying to cook at the same temperature, but on both sides. So that one's 250. And this one's reading right at 250. It's pretty awesome. All I did was put my water pans directly underneath of this one, and it seems to really stabilize the temperature as that heat's coming across over to here. So that's pretty cool. What's not cool is that condensation inside my Midwest hearth thermometer. They're the knockoffs of the Teltrues, but I ain't spending 50 bucks on each one. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Got it dialed in. It's been cooking all day. All right, here we are again. We're back we're at the 5 hour mark. So the meter said it's reading right at 157. I like to pull it and wrap it up about 165, 170 really. But we'll do a quick peek at it, just kind of see what the color's looking like. I'm not eating this tonight. I'm eating it for tomorrow during the game, Chiefs game tomorrow, when we kick the shit out of the Buffalo Bills. But I put through some chicken thighs on for dinner tonight and seasoned it up with that Sucklebuster's pecan rub. That's some good shit right there. If you never had that, you need to try that out. So that's on there too. And then I put a little jar in the corner, little glass bowl in the corner of some, I just get some of that beef tallow from Amazon, and we just use that, and I throw that in just to keep a little moisture in the wrap, and I'll spray the wrap before I do it. I do not have a freaking foil pan today, so I'm just gonna go with double wrapped butcher paper, and then when I rest it tonight, I'm gonna wrap the butcher paper in foil and then put it in some towels, and I'm gonna throw it in the oven, just let it sit there all night. Actually, not towels in the oven, but wrap it in the foil, two things of foil, and put that in the oven too. So let's take a quick peek. So, looking good. That is my favorite color, that dark mahogany bark. I threw this on here to the side just to give it a little block. That's super tender though. I wish you could come touch it, you know what I'm saying? Just teasing. No, it's really good though. Keep that on, this block some of that heat. This is on here now. I just threw that on, so that'll start melting down pretty soon too. So while this is open, I'll go ahead and give it a quick spritz just on that corner. Look how that darkens up too. It looks so good. A little bit there, but it don't need much. I'm gonna let this go for probably 1 more hour. Just want to hit that point, that 165. You can see my pans here are starting to get low too, so I'll probably throw some water in those water pans too. So that's been pretty awesome to see the temperature flip here. See that temperature stay the same on both sides, having those water pans directly underneath there. So I have a small deflector plate I talked about that I put in there also. I think on the next one I build, that'll probably be about 2 or 3 inches longer, up about 1 inch and angled down a little bit more, and that should help really keep these two things solid too. I know some of the smoker makers out there don't even use a deflector plate. Good on them. Maybe their opening's a little smaller and they have a like precise calculation they really like to run. But it's my first one, so I figured that part out right there. So anyway, it's pretty solid. Been cooking freaking awesome things on this. Looking forward to doing my next one. So here we go. All right, I went ahead and pulled it off and wrapped it up. You guys seen people wrap briskets 100 times, but I didn't have any foil like I usually do, so I went ahead and went with butcher paper. Did 2 layers of butcher paper sprayed down with that beef tallow that helps it like maneuver easier when you're trying to wrap it tight. So I did 2 layers of that, got it wrapped up, throwing it back on. We've been sitting at 168 for 165, 168 for probably about an hour, so it's a good time to wrap it up. Had some good bark formed on it, got some good color too. So chicken thighs I was cooking up here for dinner tonight are almost done as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this thing ride out until that meter tells me it hits 200. And once it hits 200, I've been trusting that thing pretty good, but I'll pull it out and I'll probe it with my other meat probe, make sure it's right. And then you can really pull a lot of if you have a bad cook, you can really pull it back and get better results if you just let it rest longer. The longest rest I've ever done, I've done one overnight for like probably 12 hours when I finished it really late one night, like 3 in the morning. Threw it in the oven overnight, or just probably a cooler back then. I don't know, people still do that or not. Did that, and then the next day at 3 o'clock, cut into it, and it was just like butter. So let this thing finish up here tonight, and then tomorrow when we're ready to cook it, I'll pull it out, slice it up, and hopefully I get the best result I've been looking for. I did not put butter in it though this time. That's one of the things I did the last time, and that was freaking awesome. So butter and tallow in there was really good with some beef broth too. No injection in this thing either, just my rub and a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic. So I'm looking forward to the result. Let you see it tomorrow. So this has actually been resting for about 18 hours. I had it set in my oven at the low warm setting, which is 170 degrees. Have not even got a chance to peek at it yet. If it's overcooked or messed up, it is what it is. I just wanted to try an overnight rest, see how it turned out. You can tell there's some juices flowing in there. Let's try to get this open without flopping it open. Oh, baby. Oh, man. It's going to have that jiggle for sure. Over there. Oh, yeah. You can see it jiggling right now. I just hope it's not overcooked. We're going to find out. Oh, yeah. Not too bad. Good. Got that jiggle, though. All right. I'm going to wash my hands. All right. So, about a 10-pound brisket. It smoked yesterday from noon. And I think it went till about 8:30 or 9. I pulled it off and let it sit on the counter for about an hour. It was in butcher paper. I ended up wrapping that whole thing in foil and putting it in the oven. So really anxious to see how this turned out. Let's start right here. Oh, that butter, that fat's like butter. I can already feel it. Little pull test. You can see it pulls apart really easy. That's awesome. I'm gonna go right here, put a point. This is where you're making money right here. Let's see, after that long rest, it's still juicy. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that juice, boy.
Oh my goodness.
So, I was trying to tell a buddy of mine over the phone, if you have little instances when you're cooking, if you mess something up, it gets too hot, gets too low, you're kind of fluctuating, you can really bring your cook back if you let it rest overnight. I'm gonna do a few more slices real quick. You want ahead? Layla wants to try it. How is that? Ooh, baby! I'm gonna finish slicing this up real quick. Then I'm gonna do my fatty side next. I'm kind of anxious to see when I get into this thicker part of the flat if it's still retains the moisture and juice that it had before. So, get there. Oh yeah, that's good. See that juice coming out of there?
Steam.
When your flat stays juicy, then you know you nailed it. Oh man, this is what I want. That right there, that buttery, that is rendered perfectly right there. That's awesome.
I like the yellow part.
Get a few slices here. The yellow part. She likes the fat.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a kind of fatty part I left on there on accident. Go a little thicker on that. Oh man, that looks awesome. Killer smoke ring too. Just the old standard for me, cherry and pecan. These burnt ends are going to be killer. Look at that. It does not get any better than that, boys and girls. Actually, it's all boys that watch my channel, so there you go. So that right there is what you're looking for, and that's why that rest period being overnight is super important. You can never slice into it in less than 4 hours, but if you can let it go overnight, even better. This might be the juiciest brisket I've ever made. You agree? Looks like it at least. So anyway, it's a smaller one. Turned out great. If you like what you're seeing, appreciate you liking, actually subscribing, and all that shit. Share with your friends. Thanks.